A long time ago, the very gods of Commander set their feet down on the accursed earth. They beheld what was around them, and it was mildly disappointing. Some really abnormal beings were kind of milling around the joint, not really enjoying themselves. Thusly, didst they decree, thou shalt choose a legendary creature as your commander. Now there was rejoicing, feasting, got a little out of hand honestly. There was some cannibalism, but Post Malone has since apologized. Now along came Wizards of the Coast, and they thought they knew better. These guys thought they were real wizards, dude, but they were just charlatans. Wizards in their eternal crusade to ruin everything. In 2014 decided Planeswalkers can be commanders. And guess what? Some of them are pretty fun, so let's take a look at 5 or so of my favorites. While you're here, like and subscribe, brother. And if you like what you see, I'm showing a little leg over on Patreon, you know what I'm saying? Link in the description. And first up in our cavalcade of Planeswalkers, we have Saheeli the Gifted. 2 blue and a red for a legendary Planeswalker, loyalty 4. Has +1, create a little servo guy. Also has +1, the next spell you cast this turn costs 1 generic mana, less to cast, for each artifact you control as you cast it. -7 for each artifact you control, create a token that's a copy of it. Those tokens gain haste, exile those tokens at the beginning of the next end step. And of course, she can be your commander. The thing is, I initially thought that second ability was going to be a -1 when I read it, but it's a +1, dude. It's absurdly easy to crank out little artifacts, little tokens, then start blasting out those big Eldrazi, those big critters that can help you win the game. Now she's a very pretty lady, with a very open-ended strategy. That second ability, say you're casting Mind Spring, right? You have 4 little artifacts out there, well that's 2 mana, draw 4, man. And that's the tiniest little thing you can do with Saheeli in the command zone. If you want an artifact budget commander, give her a look, brother. I'm going to put my deck list in the description as well. And next up, and originally from the same set, Commander 2018 I believe, we have Amatu the Fate Shifter. White, blue, and a black for a legendary Planeswalker, loyalty 3. Has +1, draw a card, then put a card from your hand on top of your library. -1, exile another target permanent you own, then return it to the battlefield under your control. Or -6, choose left or right. Each player gains control of all non-land permanents other than Amatu the Fate Shifter controlled by the next player in the chosen direction. Amatu can also be your commander, brother. So you have a couple things going on here. You have top deck manipulation, works great with the miracle cards, but this also goes infinite with the stupid Felidar Guardian. You can pay that off with ETB and LTB like Corpse Knight, you know what I mean? There you go, brother, we got it, we broke Amatu. But listen, on the way there, you have an interesting blink deck with a literal child at the helm, dude. She's got those creepy moss from Silence of the Lambs. Looks like she could be a Thomas Harris character, man. If you never read those books, go ahead and read them. That's your book recommendation from old Nikki G, and that's better commander, brother. The ultimate is Super Diesel in conjunction with her -1. Just destroy everybody's board state, switch it all around. Very interesting build around commander. You could easily do a blink deck and have a lot of fun. And this one coming out of Baldur's Gate, you notice how all these are women so far, dude? Well, that is a coincidence. Tasha the Witch Queen, 3 blue and a black for a legendary Planeswalker, loyalty 4. What can I say, dude? Whenever you cast a spell you don't own, create a 3/3 black demon creature token. +1, draw a card for each opponent, exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from that player's graveyard, and put a counter on it. So that hits all your opponents. -3, you may cast a spell from among cards in exile with page counters on them, without paying its mana cost. And of course, Tasha can be your commander. Now wait a second here, brother. You got a pretty lady out there that lets me cast stuff from our opponent's graveyard. She draws cards, she makes demons. Now I know I have a soft spot for Dimir shenanigans. I also have a soft spot for the Thieving Skydiver, Thief of Sanity, Silent Blade Oni, Hostage Taker, Gonti Lord of Luxury. Tasha makes for a very fun deck that pays off stealing your opponent's stuff. That makes people crazy and I'm here for that, dude. That -3 can be pretty powerful. You can pick and choose your moment to recur a big old spell. You of course have to include a fun little mill theme, which everybody also hates. Got the Consuming Aberration out there. It's pretty easy to do in the Dimir colors. Overall the drip is insane and that's better commander, dude. And next up on our list we have Tevish Zat, the Doom of Fools. 4 and a black for a legendary Planeswalker with 4 starting loyalty. +2, create 2 0/1 black Thrall creature tokens. +1, you may sacrifice another creature or Planeswalker. If you do, draw 2 cards, then draw another card if the sacrifice permanent was a commander. -10, gain control of all commanders. Put all commanders from the command zone onto the battlefield under your control. Tevizat Doomafools can be your commander has partner. So the neat thing about this guy is that he's a sack outlet who brings his own fodder. That sack to draw 2 cards is pretty powerful, man. Just ask Skull Clamp, you're doing that once each turn. He's super customizable. That partner text is really good here. You can make it a Grixis mix, you can make it an Abzan mix, you can go Jund, always a great way to go. Now that -10 is absurd. You're probably not going to get there. It's a neat boogeyman and a win condition all by itself. In certain circumstances, you nerf 3 people's decks. Some decks really don't function without their commander, which honestly is a great way to promote better deck building. I build around good legends, but I try to make sure you can still do your thing without your commander. He had redundant effects if possible. Anyways, man, I dig the character. He's got some real deep lore, and I'm glad he has this card. And last but certainly not least, Daretti Scrap Savant. 3 in a red for a legendary Planeswalker, loyalty 3, has +2, discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. -2, sacrifice an artifact. If you do, return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. -10, you get an emblem with. Whenever an artifact is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, return that card to the battlefield at the beginning of your next end step. This guy, of course, can be your commander. Alright, this guy's Oscar the Grouch in the command zone. He's got a really silly hat, dude. He rummages, he does the Goblin Welder thing, and he's got a really cool Pope hat that appears to be an amalgam of 4 other Pope hats. He's the Goblin Pontiff, dude. This is a fun reanimator deck. That's it, brother. Fill the yard, dig out Blightsteel or Ancient Stone Idols. It's very splashable as well. 1 red pip, 4 mana, decent value commander. So that's 5 Planeswalker commanders, great build-arounds, dude, and I know I was a little facetious with my intro there. I do much prefer the traditional legendary creature in the command zone, but I'm glad there are 20 or so Planeswalkers that can be commanders. I think Wizards is getting away from Planeswalkers in general, or making them a little more rare because the game never really needed them in the first place. You know, how often do you think we'll see battles? Well, you haven't seen them since their first appearance, so maybe that'll clue you in. So how do you play out in the command zone when you have a Planeswalker commander? It's pretty fun in most cases. The card type has this downside that they can be attacked directly, so you need a bit of a presence before you bring them out. This has the effect of soaking up a few points of damage that you otherwise may have eaten to your face. Now I have extensive experience with Saheeli. I have a paper deck with her at the helm, and it does give everyone conniptions. Turn 5, 11 mana spells, getting cast for free. It's a circus of value, brother. Then people decide that they need to kill her, but at that point I have several waiting automatons running interference. Planeswalkers in the command zone have a small effect of slowing the game down incrementally and painting themselves with targets once they get enough loyalty, which just needs to be part of your game plan, you know? So thanks for all the support, brothers. I appreciate you guys so much. New members Mark, Malsator Magic, my dude Tyler, thanks for all the kind support, and I'm going to see you guys in the Patreon. Nikki G, signing off.